Welcome to 5 Minute Mediumship, and in this video I'd really like to talk about energy management. So when I'm talking about energy management, what I'm really talking about is the ability to sustain a good level of connection with a contact or with several contacts in a mediumship demonstration, a platform demonstration, and with contacts in a one-to-one sitting. Now, I'm sure we've all been to mediumship demonstrations or we've been to services where when we get to the demonstration aspect of the service, the first 3 or 4 contacts go really well, they fly really well, and then the last 2 or 3 the medium seems to struggle. Now, when you have this sort of pattern, it is always to do with the power and the stamina and the energy. It is never to do with the actual contact. Very often what happens is we can get into that train of thought sometimes as mediums where we think, oh well, that contact wasn't quite as strong, etc. and so forth. And that may well be the case, but the reason that that's the case is because our energy, our ability to connect to and hold that power of the energy of the spirit simply doesn't have the same quality, the level of endurance and the level of stamina that's required to sustain a 45-minute or an hour or an hour and a half's demonstration. So how do we actually begin to manage it? Well, the easiest way in some respects to think of managing our energy and to think of having the ability to actually sustain a really good quality of connection with our contacts throughout a period of time is actually to think about that aspect of power as a muscle. So first of all, the more that we use it, the more developed we become, the more we work with that energy of the spirit world, then the greater stamina, the greater endurance that muscle starts to build up. And it starts to build up purely because we start to recognise that ability within ourselves to sustain the power. Now, if you're not practicing all of the time, if you're not demonstrating all of the time, then we have that question about, well, how do I build up that stamina? How do I sustain that energy if I'm not fortunate enough to be demonstrating all of the time? And this is where it comes to sitting in the power, which I'm sure is a phrase that we've all heard of. I'm sure it's a phrase that you have all heard of. And it's about building up that ability to connect with and sustain that connection with the spirit world. And that comes from sitting in the power. When we sit in the power, what actually happens is that our energy starts to attune to that of the spirit world. And that means that when we're actually working with contacts from the spirit world, it is easier to lift our energy and actually move our energy to their vibration, to hold and to support that connection for a prolonged period of time. And as we have that ability, then we have the ability to maintain a really good quality of contact as we work through a platform demonstration, or even within a one-to-one sitting, we have that ability to achieve the same quality of connection at the beginning of the sitting as we do at the end of a sitting. So it's very easy as a medium, particularly if you're working on platform, to think that the audience is going to support your energy. And whilst it's true that if we have a really good audience who are very engaged with us and very supportive, it is easier to work, we must remember that it's easier to work because their energy is actually enabling our own energy to live, because we're feeling stimulated as well as being stimulated ourselves with that sense of connection with the spirit world. We're feeling stimulated by the interest that the audience has. But ultimately, it is our own energy, it's our ability to hold that aspect of power, to lift and support our energy as it moves to connect with the spirit world. That's the key to actually maintaining the quality of the energy and the quality of the contact throughout a sitting or throughout a mediumship demonstration. The power doesn't come from the spirit world, because if it did, every medium would be able to maintain that link to exactly the same quality and exactly the same degree. So whilst of course that energy and power from the spirit world is engaged with us, it's our ability to lift and to hold and to support that energy that actually makes a difference. So sitting in the power, even if you're not working or even if you're not out working yet, sitting in the power, sitting and allowing your energy and enabling your energy to attune to the spirit world is absolutely a key component of being able to work effectively, to have a really good demonstration with a consistent quality of contact, and it all starts with you, and that's something that you are very much in charge of.